And welcome back to the Unleash and Unveil community. Today, I am breaking down the top 6 spiritual business ideas that you need to activate in 2024. I know the year's not even done, but it's right around the corner. And I'm going to break down these specific spiritual business ideas that one is going to keep you in alignment with your work, especially if you're somebody who has gone through a spiritual awakening, especially if you're somebody who considers yourself a new earth leader, you're activating your soul purpose, and you really are starting to come to full understanding that you're not meant to have a regular 9-to-5 job. Like, you are meant to be a boss and work on your own, which, by the way, if you are interested in learning spiritual business, I have a course. It's called Unleash and Unveil Your Soul Business. I'm going to link it below here. We actually start in a few days. Go ahead and check it out. So the top 6 spiritual business ideas. Number 1, running retreats. This is by far one of my favorite types of businesses. And I would say 80% of our students right now are running retreats. This is specific to somebody who considers themselves a medicine man or a medicine woman. This is somebody who is a space holder. This is somebody who can activate your healing potential. And you just know, because when you're around them, you're just like, I feel calmer. I feel like you are reflecting back to me who I am with very little words. So running retreats can be very empowering for the facilitator. I find that in this type of business model, the more and more you actually hold space for people, the more and more you also get activated. And I believe that we are all here on this planet first to heal ourselves and then to share that with other people. And there's no better way than to share that on the beautiful lands that you decide to go to, really curating an experience where you're helping people get out of the day-to-day and really be able to hold that space. The second type of business is spiritual mentoring. This is one of the first things that I decided to do as I was moving out of yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. And I say moving out, not because I stopped doing it. These are things that I still do to this day, and also tools that I bring to a lot of my students. But I started to get out of the studios because I started to realize I was still working for somebody else. I wasn't really being honored. And oh my Jesus Christ, there is a reason why yoga teachers have to teach like 15 classes a day. It is absurd. It's insane. What are you giving people when you're that burnt out? We cannot have healers and the energetic doctors of this planet working 15 hours a day for $10 a class or $50 a class or whatever it is. It's just incredibly difficult. And so I do see a lot of more people dipping into mentoring, or some say coaching. To me, this is somebody who is a reflector. This is also somebody who's very empathetic. This is for somebody who's very compassionate. This is for somebody who likes to talk to people. They like to hear what is going on in somebody's life and like to problem solve with them. I don't know about you, but I love being a mentor. I just utterly love knowing what is going on in my students' world from all angles, not just business, not just what's happening in their personal life, but really truly how they feel on a day-to-day basis. And that's not for everybody. So you really have to ask yourself, is that the type of business model that I want to have? And I want to just interject here real quick, and I want you to start to make a decision on, do you want to have the type of business where you see people in person? You can do that in both of these formats. Or do you want to be somebody who's just virtual? You get to choose your own adventure here. Those are two different types of business models. So that's why I want you to really start to make those conscious decisions. I also want you to know that you can have a combination of both. And so I do have online programs where I see people virtually, but I love seeing people in person. And so I've integrated the two. And honestly, a lot of new earth leaders and people who are really here to hold space for folks have this type of combination when it comes to their business, because the most beautiful thing about being online is that you get to reach a lot of people, right? Like, I don't know who's watching this, but like, this gets to live on a platform for a really long time. And this gets to literally be like an artifact. I can't wait to see what happens in a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. Like, this video is still going to always exist, and somebody's going to be able to find it, and somebody's going to find that useful. And to me, I love knowing that. And so the ability to get online and share your voice, and literally this is a TV screen, it is, I always say, a microphone. It is just the best free way to share your opinion and also to share your love. And I think that is really at the core of my brand. Is I really want to be known for activating folks and getting them to start their passion mission and their spiritual business, but also to come back home to themselves. And so the more content that I can create around that, the better. But my heart really lies with being with people. So if that really lands with you, and if that starts to resonate, start to really think about building a mentoring type of program where you can be creating these really beautiful videos for people that can ultimately really have a long-lasting impact. The third kind of business is live workshops and events. This type of business is very good for somebody who has that performing energy. Maybe you actually have quite literally performed, or like me, I was a dancer, and so I was actually used to being in front of people. I find that a lot of my yogis are also really great workshopping and being in front of a crowd. This is not for somebody who is afraid to be on stage. This is somebody who actually, the more people that there are, the better. And so that is the third type of business. And this type of business model can work in many different ways. One, you can be hosting workshops. A lot of my students will have a monthly gathering. And so whether it's a moon circle, which is another type of business model, or let's say they're a coach and they're meeting everybody at one location, or maybe they're meeting at the park to do a sound healing session, whatever it is, having a workshop in person is one specific type of business model. And you can do this both at a very small scale or at a very big scale. I actually last year created the very first BIPOC LGBTQ spiritual business event in New York. About 80 people came and it was a big event. And so that is another type of business model that you can create. This is really good for also somebody who is a networker, somebody who really loves to be in the trenches and connecting people. That is somebody who is really going to thrive in this type of business model. All right, the fourth type of business is really for my healers. And so I want you to think about the sound healers of the planet. I want you to think of actual beings that are activating their voice, their light language, human beings who are really here to heal. And so you have to figure out what kind of modality that is, okay? Think about maybe meditation. Think about your writers. Like, think about the people who are truly here, not so much to create content. They don't even want to like figure out the logistics of running a retreat or potentially even being with people, but they know that they're here to really heal. And so this is a beautiful being that they will oftentimes pick a tool. And so this is why sound healing comes to mind, Reiki comes to mind. They will use a tool because they're ultimately here first to heal themselves and then eventually share with folks. And so think about what type of archetype you are as you kind of hear some of these different business types and the people that I have seen most attracted to them, which by the way, these are all things that inside of my program, I also flesh out your entire spiritual business plan. That's something that's really hard for us because as spiritual multi-dimensional beings that we are, we can literally probably do it all. And as you're listening to this, you're probably like, I kind of want to do all of it. And that's fine, but you have to start from the ground up. So I just really want you to start to think about, it's not about I can do all of them, but which one resonates more with you, which is the one that you're like, I think that's the one, and start there and eventually allow your business to take shape. Maybe you do a little bit of all of them. I actually have been doing a little bit of all of these, but I actually just started in this first category, being a healer and really holding massive space for folks through meditation, through sound healing. These are all things that I started to pick up as a tool and eventually started to teach. And then it morphed into coaching, and then it morphed into retreats, and then it morphed into a live event. Like, it just kept morphing the more I realized what I did want and what I didn't want. The fifth type of business, and this is for my artists, and I'm just smiling because you are the type of person who may be channeling some really cosmic, beautiful art, maybe through a deck, maybe through a planner, maybe through your painting, maybe through body paint. You don't really feel called to activate your voice because you are utilizing the arts. And I think about my poets here as well. I think about spoken words. I think about the beings who are really here to express their creativity. And so just know that that is a whole specific business archetype. You can do a whole business around that. One of the beautiful things, oh my God, King is here. Say hi, King. You were here in the last video, now you're here in this video. One of the beautiful things about an artist is that you will oftentimes lean into a physical product, because you will oftentimes use your passion, your joy, your grief to really channel that into something physical. So you might be somebody who may want to have a t-shirt line with your own drawings. You may feel really called to have a physical product. So pay attention to that, because there's a specific business model for that. And I really would suggest Pinterest and Etsy as a platform that you can be using to really host all of those beautiful physical products. The sixth business idea, this is for my influencer. This is for somebody who really desires to work with brands. I feel like the type of business that you should be in really is going to be course creation and potentially memberships as well. And so you're probably somebody who's already garnering big following, or even if you have a smaller following, you're probably a micro influencer, or you want to be, or you desire to be. And so I would really focus on the aesthetics of your brand. I would really focus on your uniqueness and making sure that you stick out in the market. I think ultimately people want to work with course creators because they're activating their rebel energy, and you can really see what is a post that's made from them. You know, just think about social media, and like when you see a specific post and you're like, I know who created that. Maybe you know who created it because of the font that they use or the editing style, but there's something so unique about the way you show up. And so if you're somebody who really loves to dress up, fashion, and you love vlogging, and you love filming, and you love just the course creation in general, you're probably the type of person that can take really big ideas and bring them into a digestible, simple way for people to understand it. Human, you are magic on 10 toes. I love my course creators and people who are really here to just help you have the cliff notes and not having to do this long legwork to learn a specific thing. Those are the 6 spiritual business ideas that you need to be activating right now, especially coming into 2024, because business is changing, especially just as a whole, but specifically for spiritual entrepreneurs. I think a lot of us were wrapped into this, like creating content, giving all of your time, and we've been learning that it truly is about balance. All right, humans, if you have found this video helpful, go ahead, give it a like, give me a comment, save this video. It truly, truly helps. I've been recording these videos every Monday, 12 o'clock EST, and my intention is really, truly to serve. If you are at a place where you are desiring more help and you want to create your spiritual business with my help, let me know. I'm going to link Unleashing Your Soul Business below. We start in a few days, and I'll see you soon. Go with peace, go with God. Bye.